What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Friday weather update for Friday, November 22nd, 2024. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily weather update on all things weather in the United States. Winter weather, tropical weather, severe weather, heavy rainstorms, drought, and everything else in between. And sometimes, when needed, I do talk about weather headlines from other events going on around the world. Today, though, we are focused on the United States because we've had two major storms that have been an issue. And yes, there's another storm that is coming to the West Coast this weekend. And yes, we are watching a storm threat for next week as well, which, as we know, is the all-important Thanksgiving holiday. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and of course, leave your comments down below. See something that maybe strikes a comment that comes to your mind. Maybe I talk about where you live. Hey, let me know down below. Alrighty, starting off today with some snowfall totals from what's going on in the Northeast, where there has been a very impressive snowstorm. I mean, remember just a couple weeks ago, we were talking about temperatures that were well above normal? Yep, that's not the case anymore. We can see here in New York, very impressive snowfall totals have occurred, just going through some of them. Delaware County, New York, 17.1 inches. Cortland County, New York, in Hartford, that's 10 inches. That 17.1 inches was in 4 miles south of Franklin, New York. We can see Walton, 3 miles northeast of Walton, New York, 16 inches of snow. Madison County, 2 miles east-northeast of Hamilton, 10 inches of snow there. And then we come down here, I believe Pennsylvania is listed as well. Yes, wow, look at this. Richmond-Dale, Lackawanna County, Pennsylvania, 19.5 inches. And that was as of 10:45 a.m. Some of these areas, it is still snowing. Now, it's not snowing as hard in these areas, but it's still snowing, so it may be adding up. Look at this. Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, 8 inches of snow. Then we go to the Mount Holly, New Jersey office. Those snowfall totals came from the Bingham office, Binghamton, New York. And I have to show you this. Here is the jackpot. This is the highest total I've seen so far in New Jersey. Sussex County, New Jersey. This is northwest New Jersey. High Point, New Jersey recorded as of 8:30 a.m. And it may still have been snowing there. It probably was still snowing. So this number could be even higher now. 20 inches of snow. Nearly 2 feet of snow have fallen in High Point, New Jersey. That is just incredible, considering just a couple weeks ago, temperatures were in the 70s in these areas. Highlands Lake, New Jersey, 12 inches of snow. You get the idea. Look at this. Pocono Mountains, Monroe County, big skiing area, 11.5 inches there. Mount Pocono, 9.4 inches. And those are as of early this morning. And when we take a look at radar, you'll see there are still some snow showers in that area. It may try and change back to rain, but quite frankly, the temperatures are cold there. Even down here in Philadelphia, I'm looking at my weather station. It's 37 degrees right now. We had snowflakes mixing in this morning. Where I was this morning, I saw snowflakes mixing in as well. All right, there's another problem that comes along with that early season snow. It's a wet snow. It's not that dry, powdery snow. It's a wet snow, and because of that, well, New York State, 62,285 people without power as of this update. Pennsylvania, this is a big number, 117,244 people without power. But then, it's not just the east that's dealing with this. It's not just the northeast. There's that storm on the west coast as well. Starting off with California, 17,179 people without power. Washington State, this is bad, 164,638 people without power. And it's not like when we had Milton down in Florida or Helene, where, it can be restored real quickly. And the terrain is a bit more difficult up in Washington State, so that's going to take some time to get sorted out. And of course, there is another storm system coming, not as strong as the other one, but there's a reinforcement coming this weekend. In other words, it's still going to be stormy pretty much through the weekend for you. All right, got to show this to you. Weather Prediction Center tweeted this out just a little bit earlier, 2:32 p.m. An updated days 3 through 7 hazardous outlook has been issued. And we can see here in the Rocky mountains. There is heavy snow being expected, heavy precipitation out on the west coast. But then we see here as we get closer to Thanksgiving, zoom this in. Look at this. On the 27th and 28th, they're identifying heavy rain areas. That's because of that storm system we've been talking about for next week, and we're starting to get some agreement on what it might do with the models now. And I'll tell you this, we'll show you the models in a little bit, I will. But it's looking like maybe it's going to be more of a rainy type system where just the northern fringe of it may have some snow. But again, it's only Friday. Things could change, but that's the way it's looking as of right now. All right, take a look at this. We have twins today. Yes, twins. There's that old system that's been wreaking havoc on the Pacific Northwest, but look directly behind it. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. You're seeing this correctly. There's another storm system. So we got to keep an eye on that. And look at this. Another fetch of moisture is starting to come along that atmospheric river. So yes, we'll have to keep an eye on just what this system does. More rains, more mountain snows are coming yet again for California, Oregon, and Washington, and this time it may get a little bit further south in California. Maybe not necessarily all the way down to LA, but it's going to be close. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. In the east, there's that bowling ball that is continuing over the northeast, a well-defined storm system, and you can see, let's go there first. First off, take a look at this. On the very far northeast edge of this storm system, the upper level low, there is some rain up in Maine. Now you're probably thinking, wait, rain there? But wait a second, Climate Data Report. You just talked about all that snow in New York, northeast Pennsylvania, New Jersey. There was even snow in central Pennsylvania and West Virginia as well. We didn't talk about the totals there, but it did happen. Well, that's because the cold core of this system is with the center of the low, and on the outer fringes, you're getting that fetch off the water, so it's warmer up there, and that's why when another low, yes, another low develops this weekend, it's going to mainly be a rain event for Maine, and I'll tell you what, Maine could see a good share of rain this weekend. They could see 1 to 2 inches of rainfall with that next storm system. But you can see here the storm system still winding up, starting to sink south a little bit at this time, and eventually will pull to the east. All right, before we go on to the hazards map, don't want to jump ahead of myself. San Francisco, you are seeing rainfall, and at that, it is moderate to heavy rainfall for you, just more in the way of showers in Washington, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and Northern California, but that will pick up once again. Taking a look at the hazards map, we do see frost and freeze advisories and watches and warnings up down in the southeast. Yes, even portions of the Florida Panhandle are seeing frost advisories. It's going to be rather cold there tonight. I mean, do the best you can to keep warm. Hopefully everyone has a heater of some sort. You'll need it tonight. If you have a fireplace, good night to use that down there as well. And we can see up here in Montana, yes, winter weather advisories once again. Still some winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in portions of West Virginia, and even up in portions of Pennsylvania and New York State. That will continue for a few more hours. And let's zoom in on West Virginia. I'm actually just realizing this. There's actually blizzard warnings now up for portions of West Virginia. Let's see what the forecasted snowfall totals are there, and wow, total snow accumulations between 12 to 14 inches. I don't ever recall, and I'm sure it's happened before, I don't recall the last time that I've seen blizzard warnings in West Virginia before Thanksgiving. That's really, really impressive to say that. And California, we just have a big, huge mess. Winter storm warnings, flood watches, winter weather advisories, high wind warnings, wind advisories. Just, yeah, like I said, there's another system coming. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center, nothing to talk about in terms of severe weather today. There is an elevated risk of wildfires in the Orlando area of Florida for today. Taking a look at the Weather Prediction Center, we don't need to show the Hurricane Center because, quite frankly, there's nothing going on with the Hurricane Center right now, which is some good news for the Atlantic Basin. We need quiet period, and the end of hurricane season is coming. Hopefully we don't get any of those off-season surprise tropical systems. Moderate risk today of excessive rainfall across portions of northern California. You saw that there on radar. It is still coming down there, so more flooding concerns for you. Now taking a look at the precipitation forecast, and I'm going to do this day by day before we get to the 1 through 7. You can see heavy rainfall for the mountains of California and Northern California. Not as heavy today across Washington and Oregon. Then day 2, take a look at this. Around the Washington-Oregon border, you see things do ramp up a little bit again, as on day 3, even in California. And look at this. Maybe some precip tries to get down to Southern California, maybe some raindrops into LA. We can only hope because you really need it. Same thing on day 4 as we head into next week. Now we're getting closer to that travel period, and you can see it is a little bit further south. Day 5, and yeah, you can see as we head into next week. Now we're coming towards that travel period. And you can see here, a storm system does start to show up on this map across the central region and the southern portions of the Midwest. Day 6, take a look. Thanksgiving, yes, we're talking about that Thanksgiving storm. It does look like it's going to happen. It's just a question of the exact track and how much cold air on the north side. Either way, it does look like there is going to be some rainfall, heavy rainfall for some places with this storm system. Now, days 1 through 7, precipitation total, you can see a ton for the west coast. Yes, it is going to be very wet. Once again, California will take the brunt of it. And in the east, we have some heavy precipitation amounts as well. This in the Rockies, Utah, and Colorado, those heavy precipitation amounts, a lot of that is in the form of snow. You're going to see quite a bit of snow. In fact, 1 to 2 feet of snow could be possible in some of the mountain areas. All right, taking a look at the models now. We'll start off with the HER model for the next 48 hours. This is the 18Z run that just came in. You can see that area of low pressure does continue over Pennsylvania. Then a new low develops, and look what happens as it heads to Maine. That's really heavy rainfall. Really windy conditions. That's a nasty coastal system. Look at Northern California, the mountains. You're seeing heavy snow there. And look at this. We're already, by the time we get to tomorrow morning, seeing some heavier rainfall starting to come back in on the HER. And to kind of be on and off. Won't be more consistent until we get into later in the day. And take a look at this. Look at in Maine, in Boston even. That's very heavy rainfall. Eventually that will push east. But by the time we head towards Sunday, you can see here some consistently very heavy rainfalls come on Northern California coast, Washington, and Oregon. Maybe not as heavy for you. And look at this. Yes, the rain finally gets a little bit further south by the end of the HER run. Now let's also take a look at the NAM, and we'll take a look at the 12Z NAM run because the 18Z run is not out far enough yet. But you can see as we head into Monday, Los Angeles, those are a few raindrops for you. You'll take anything that you can get at that point. You also see in the Great Lakes, there is a cold front that's going to come through. So the Windy City, Chicago, will be just that. It will be windy, and it will also be windy in the Northeast, probably as we head towards Tuesday. Taking a look at the GFS now, we can see here that that storm system in New England will exit the coast on Sunday. And then take a look at the West Coast. Yeah, you can see it just continues to be active. Maybe some raindrops for Southern California, and that system there that we're watching by the time we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, that's the system that will translate into our holiday storm system. Now, there is some disagreement on the models, a little bit. They were starting to come into better agreement, but there is definitely agreement that it's going to be a more southern storm at this point. But I do think the Mid-Atlantic and parts of the Northeast will still get in on it. We can see here on Thanksgiving itself, if you're across Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, the GFS right now is saying, you'll see some raindrops. It tries to develop into a coastal system. You can see here, it doesn't quite phase together, the two pieces of energy. Now, when we switch this over to the Canadian model, we do see a bit of a different story. And let's advance this up to Wednesday. Here's that cold front that comes through. Once again, just a few raindrops, maybe snow showers in New England on Tuesday, Monday night into Tuesday. Here comes that system on a Canadian. Canadian's a little bit further to the north, but the main thing is it shows the system, like the GFS does. GFS is less organized, weaker, shows the system. That is something that's showing up on the models. And you can see here, this is the type of system that if there's to be snow with it, it would probably be a front-end storm system, and in between would be rain. The only way you get back side of the system to be snow is if a coastal storm develops. And watch this. A coastal low does develop. So, on the Canadian, places like New York State, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, you would see snow. From about New York City on southward, according to the Canadian, on this run, would mainly probably change over to rain. You may start as snow, but you would change to rain. Now, that's just one of many solutions. So we're going to have to continue to fine-tune this. Will this storm system stay more south? will be slightly more north. The key thing to note is most of the guidance right now is showing that there will be a storm system. I can show you the icon. Here's the latest icon run. And that, again, this also shows a storm system. The Canadian is one of the stronger model guidance. The icon is closer to the GFS right now. A little bit more suppressed, so you get kind of a light rain-snow mix. But the Canadian, it's a pretty high impact system. So it's something we're going to continue to watch as we head into next week, taking a look at the GEFS. And one thing that is still going to happen, here comes Thanksgiving right here. Look at this. You see a trough setup. Then that gets reinforced, and you're seeing below average temperatures in much of the east, and that is going to last into at least the first week of December. After that, there could be a brief break before things, look at this, once again, they get cold again. The first week of December is going to probably be below average, and guess what? The Climate Prediction Center does agree with that. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. The height of the cold air is expected to be over Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Iowa, Missouri, and you can see northeast cold near normal on the west coast. Slightly below average temperatures now up to about Orlando, Florida as well, and Texas. The only real above average is going to be down around Miami, Hawaii, showing up above average, and portions of Arizona and southwest New Mexico. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Look at this. Yes, you can see slightly above average in the east. Same places that are below average temperatures, which signals, hey, the northern portion of this could see potentially some snow. Finally, drier on the west coast, below average precipitation, and dry, and 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, slightly above average temperatures in the west, below average continues in the east, much different than what we saw for the first part of November and October. And precipitation, it does dry out somewhat in the east on the 8 to 14 day and the west coast, and then the northern plains is above average, southern Texas above average, and Florida above average precipitation as well. Alrighty folks, that does it for the Friday weather update. You can follow me over on Blue Sky at Climate Data Report, spelled out in full length, and over on X, it is Climate Data Report, but in the tag, the username, it is Climate Data capital RPT, because they wouldn't let me fit the whole thing in there. Already, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you felt like you're informed and you're new here, subscribe down below. I promise to keep you informed each and every day. We may miss a day here and there when the weather gets slower, but right now, it's not slow. Share this video with anyone you know, hit that notification bell, and leave your comments down below. Let me know. You got any questions? Is there something else you would like to see? Is there something I'm doing wrong, or maybe you just want to leave a comment or something and tell me what's going on in your area? Do that down below. I will see you all again next time, which should be tomorrow. Until I see you again tomorrow, have a fantastic Friday, and thanks for watching.